So in this video, I'm going to be talking about defensive stuff because I've been asked by members of my alliance what best to do, like for like defense lineup, and help give you better defensive stats. And when you look at this game, there's two categories. There's offensive stats and defensive stats, and they don't necessarily coincide with each other because attack stats, like damage taken, damage reduce when attacking or damage increase when attacking, that will not go into a defensive because it's attacking. But like your like base stats like attack, HP, that will coincide with both, and defensive will help boost that up a bit. Um, but when you're looking at upgrading artifacts and equipment and stuff like that, you definitely want to look at what's defensive to make sure you're like investing your money or your time and resources in the game on the right stuff. Okay, so let's get into it. Something that I'll go cover first is your beast. I wouldn't recommend doing the talent way of defensive because there's a lot more better ways to put your beast talent. But if you did do it, the defense expert, it reduces damage taken by troop while defending by 1% at level 1. And the opposite of that, when you're attacking, um, it will be increased damage dealt by troops when attacking by 1%, which the attacking won't be used for defense, and the defense again will not be used for attacking. Those stats they'll be there, but they won't do anything. Um, your next is your artifacts. Some people work on defensive artifacts, others don't, and I wouldn't per se just devote time, energy into like getting defensive artifacts up unless it's like one that you're already using. Like Athena, I use Athena because I like the Guardian Shield, and it helps with other stuff with like damage taken, reduction from archers, infantry HP. And further down the line, they get more and more helpful. But the infantry defense at 2-star does help because it helps my infantry survive more when I'm defending. But as I said, sometimes they'll be on some artifacts that you have that you will use because of your troop types. So, but only work on those. I wouldn't necessarily devote your resources in fragments into defensive because there's a lot of other ways you can increase your defense. Uh, so like if we go to your uh, Colossus, you'll have your attack right here, your HP, your damage taken. So your damage taken from cavalry, from archers, and from mages, that will go from both attacking and defending because it's not specific. Infantry attack that's just like it's just like how much percentage your infantry can kill troops, which that could also go for attack and defense. And your HP goes for both. Um, but here is one of the ones uh, in Colossus that would help your defense is it actually raises your defense of that specific troop type. And um, as you can see, I don't have it leveled up um, that much because I'm built for more attacking, and in a few months I'll start working on my defensive, but that's not like a priority for me right now. And but if you go to my archers, you'll definitely see a difference how where like I upgraded a lot of other things a lot more than defense because I'm not necessarily defensive equipped right now. But I still do have defense based off of other stuff. And then when you go to your Lord info, and you can go to achievements, and you'll see your achievements have different stuff. And there are a few that are worth having and changing when you are defending. So when you're like looking at these, some of them don't have anything to do with your defensive stats, but others do, like damage boost when defending, and they're all good. These are what I found. These are the best. The ones I have equipped are the best for attacking, but like when you're defending, you will want to change to like a VIP if you wanted to. You don't have to, because it does give the defending army's defense. And the other one is teamwork, which I don't have really raised up. So like I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you have it maxed, because it is 5% compared to where I have it now, which is 3.5, which is still not bad, but I'd rather have the other ones where I still do well in defense, even though I don't necessarily have defensive stats. One of the biggest ones is when you go to your equipment, you'll see, like on my perfect heart, my enhancement is damage boost when attacking, and on defense, that would be completely useless. So like when I do make defensive equipment, I would change this to damage boost when defending is what I would change that one to. Um, Dominator's Mask is reduces damage taken from archers. I'm not going to change that one at all because it reduces damage from both offensive and defensive. So it'd be really a waste of materials to make another mask for defensive. And then for the Dusk one, Dusk Boots, I will be redoing that because it says damage taken reduced when attacking, and I would change that to damage taken reduced when defending in the base stat. It's 11.2%. I would definitely do that. Titan armor, I wouldn't do that because my skill is reduced damage taken from mages. The Fury crossbow is up to individuals, but I don't think I'm going to redo that one for defensive or make another one for defensive because it just increases archer attack and that can go for both. But resilient belt I'm going to be redoing because I don't have defensive for that one. And then armor of hymns I will not be redoing because it's just also, again, just reduces damage taken from archers. And defensive equipment is probably one of your biggest ways you can increase your defense or attack. But if we go out, when you're making it a best defensive march, I would recommend you looking at like your soldier type. So for me, I am level 11 is my highest level, and for infantry, 11 is more of a defensive type troop because its special skill raises HP when you're on the defending side by 15%, which is pretty good. So that one is more for defense. Cavalry level 11 reduces damage taken from archers by 25%, and at level 10 is raises attack when you're on the attacking side. So like level 10 for calves would be, or sorry, even levels for calves would be attack, and uneven would be defense. And that's pretty much a general rule with all the troop types, is the evens are stronger, but the unevens are really good for defense because they give you that extra boost. Like my 11 is damaged against mage's bonus and damaged against infantry bonus, which that doesn't really just based off that special skill, you won't see that a lot. But if you look at the defense is at level 10 is 46, but at 11 is 56, and I know it goes up a bit, but it goes up significantly more than it would like when you're going from 11 to 12, because like when you're going from 10 to 11 is at 46, and it goes to 56, so that increases by 10 defensive points. But when you go from 11 to 12, it only increases by 4. so that's more for a defensive march. You could use that for. And the mages, damage against cavalry bonus, and bonus damage while soldiers during city defense. Mages is the only one where it's kind of flipped, where 10 is really good, evens are really good for defense, and the odds are more for attack. After you do that, it's just best to notice that certain troop types are for different ones, and if you really want to like do better, always look at your like troop types to know like what would do better in like certain battles. So like, let's say you're doing a battle and you're like coming against an opponent that like has like mages or something like that. That's why you always want to do like a 4x4 march, because even though you're not of troops of that type, it gives you damage. You still get those bonuses, which will really help you out. And then another way, which unless you like always want to have your VIP active, it does increase your attack and defense boosts. But you have to like activate it, and those like will run out in time. And yeah, those are like the best ways to raise your defense. Besides, sorry, I just forgot. Mystic College, if you fortify skills, there will be some of these that can help you out. Also in defense, like it takes less damage, but they won't be necessarily specifically for defensive. They can be for both, but also a way to help increase your defensive how like will you defend. And then yeah, just and then when you look at your tech, your like college, high tech especially, you can, sorry, not high tech. When you're looking at just like regular college, you can have like defensive stuff right here, like raises defense, but those you should have maxed out by now. I have a lot of them maxed out, but since I'm not like archer, or sorry, mage, I won't have to I wouldn't have to like don't see the point of like leveling up right away when I have resources like uh frenzy or void. Sometimes I'll do that because it does give me points. And then the other way is when you go to your lord skills, you will have you're able to increase defense, and then but if you're a mage, you'll have to like split one way, go this way defensive to get infantry defense, or go cavalry defense to get this major defense, which is fine. And then when you go down, you'll get the option again. And then when you get down, you can really increase your angel defense and other angel stats, which is really important. So yeah, that is a quick guide to defensive stats. If you have any questions, feel free to put in the comments, and I will make a comment later when I upload this to ask for comments. And if you guys request a certain video, feel free to write in the comments, and that will be my priorities for my next videos.